Good morning. I am actually getting ready to record the class for Monday that we used to have at the studio, and it will also be the offering for Friday morning at 5:30 a.m. So if you sign up for this on Monday, save it, and it will be your Monday and Friday practice. It's actually really good to repeat practices, not just asana on the mat, but also meditation. So the idea behind coming into a meditation practice is to choose a meditation and stay with it for a certain length of time until it's embedded, and then you can add on to the practice. So they should enhance each other rather than doing many different meditation practices. The mind has a tendency to make us believe that if we do many different meditation practices, we won't get bored, and so we'll pay attention. In theory, that can work on the surface, because if it's working for you and you're paying attention during each different meditation, in that moment, you're meditating. However, for it to really embed itself in your heart and mind and enhance your life, it needs to become part of your heart. And what we do is we do 40-day practices. So we practice something for 40 days before we either add on to enhance it or add an additional practice for our different moods and different needs. But each one of those practices is in here. It's yours. So this repeating the asana videos or classes can do the same thing for you. When you come to the mat and you do that practice over and over again, your body starts to remember the practice, and it settles into the practice more readily. And you'll find that then your mind sinks deeper into the quietude of the practice. So here you go. Here's Monday and Friday's practice for this first full week of April. Namaste. So we've been practicing the Ashtanga half primary series, and some of us are doing it very consistently. In the beginning, there is a mantra called the Ashtangala Mantram, and it's the opening chant to the series of practices. Madonna does a rendition on her soundtrack, her album Ray of Light. And I might not do it exactly like Madonna does it, but this is how I remember it in my heart. I haven't listened to it in a while. But if you know the chant, it will come to you. And if you're unfamiliar with the chant, but you have the printout of the Ashtanga Mangalam, you can read along and pick up on it. Let us come together, find our mountain pose, and take 10 deep breaths with the arms following the breath. Inhale, the arms sweep up. Exhale to the heart. Releasing the fingers at the bottom of the exhale. Feel yourself settling in, arriving on your mat, connecting with your intentions. Let us Om together. Taking a deep breath in. Vande Gurunam Charanara Vinde Sandarshita Swatma Sukhava Bodhe Nishraya Se Jangalikaya Mane Shantiye Abahupuru Chakaram Shankachakrasi Taharinam Taharinam Sahasrahasra Shirasam Taharinam Taharinam Sahasrahasra Shirasam Jangalika Yamane Samsara Hala Hala Moha Shantiye Abahupuru Chakaram Shankachakrasi Taharinam Taharinam Sahasrahasra Shirasam Taharinam Taharinam Sahasrahasra Shirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjali. Let us Om together to begin the practice in mountain pose at the very top of the mat. Om. 3 half sun salutations. Inhaling, touch the sky, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, facing the earth, Adho Mukha. Inhale, reverse the swan rise. Exhale, pour forth. One last time. Halfway lift. Fold in. Reverse. Touch the earth. Halfway lift. Fold. Reverse. Touch the earth. Halfway lift. Fold in. Reverse. Touch the heart. Om. Om. Releasing the fingers. Stretch the feet. Stretch the palms. Stretch the spine in 2 directions. Establish your connection between your feet and the earth. And then the rebounding energy as you press downward and feel the upward flow of life. On the next inhale, touch the sun. Exhale, pour forth. On an inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, the shin kisses the earth. Inhale, the fingers touch the sky. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, a cat arc as the arms hug around the thigh. Inhale, a cow arc as you touch the earth facing the sun. Exhale, rooting into the earth, rising into the upper back opening. Inhale, rooting into the earth, rising into the frontal heart opening. One more time to the sky. Encircle the left wrist with the right hand and arc over to the right on the exhale. Breathe up out of the left knee, across the hip and armpit, into the arms. Exhale into the soul. Inhale up. And exhale, release the hands to the earth. Start to straighten the right leg. Flex the right foot and point the toes. So here, if you need blocks, or if you need to walk your hands closer to that leg, that's often helpful. If you feel like you need to be up on your thigh, I suggest holding onto your hips, having a slight softness to that knee. Maybe not even moving the foot. Maybe keeping it flexed or keeping it pointed. And if you need more of a stretch, walk your hands out while drawing the right hip back and the heart forward. But for now, inhale, bend that right knee. Exhale, tuck the left toes under and bring the knee off the floor in your runner's lunge. Inhale the right arm up in a circle, come back to the earth. Exhaling. Inhale, sweep it up in a circle, exhaling to the earth. And one more time. Let's move back to the top of the mat, connect with the earth, the core, and the breath. Exhale, start to lift that back leg. Inhale, fold in, halfway. Exhale all the way. Inhale to the sky. Exhale to the heart. Once again, oming. Release the fingers. So now feel the asymmetries in your body in this mountain pose. Honoring the effect of the practice on the body. Root to rise, touch the sky, inhaling. Exhale, feel the core support as you touch the earth. Right leg steps, shin kisses earth. Anjaneyasana on the inhale. Take the cat-cow over the left thigh, exhale, rounding. Inhale, blossoming. On the way up, grab the right wrist with the left fingers. Exhale over to the left. Feel the stretch on the whole right side. One more breath. Inhale, touch the sky. Exhale, half Hanumanasana, or the half split if you will. So find your variation of the pose. And if it takes you the whole 3 breaths to just get comfortable, so be it. Inhale, bend the left knee, hands down, earth. Exhale to runner's lunge. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, circle it toward the front. Again. This time, instead of coming to the top of the mat, let us come into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Taking any movement your body informs, or staying still if that's what your body craves. On your next inhale, tabletop posture. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale, come up through table and arc into the cow tilt. Exhale into the cat tilt and all the way back to child's pose. Twice more. Inhale the cow. Exhale, cat turns into child. Once again. And then you get to settle into the child pose for 3 breaths. So as you remain in the child, I'm lifting my face so that you can hear me potentially in the directions. So let yourself go, whether your head touches the floor or your hands are supporting a dangling head, or you've moved your hands to support your head and neck. Let yourself go. Listen within to your breath as it expands within your body. And on the exhale, feel the connection between pushing into the earth and not lifting into the core. And then inhale, rise up to table on that support. Tuck the toes under. Exhaling. Inhale the cow, press into the toes, open the feet. Exhale into the cat, press into the fingers and toes and open up the back of the heart and the feet. Inhale, press into the front of the fingers and the toes. Exhale. One more inhale into cow. Exhale into the bear plank and then downward facing dog. Inhale onto the tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, right leg lifts, both legs straighten. Exhale, that little crouching downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg, both legs straighten. Feel the power from the feet here. Continue this. Inhale, we split. Exhale, we crouch. Inhale, we touch the ceiling, the sky. Exhale toward the earth. Again with the right and left legs. And then take the right leg to the sky and find your knee to heart plank and step that foot all the way up. Dropping the left shin. So if your foot didn't make it very far and your knee is poking out past your toes, take a moment to lean into that left shin and walk that right foot forward and make sure your knee is over your ankle or at least behind your toe line. so no further than the middle of your foot. From here, we're going to come up into a proposal lunge. Press into the front of the left ankle, not just jamming the knee into the ground. So there's a little work in that, but that's how you get stronger and more comfortable. So people will come into yoga and say, God, it hurts my knees or my wrists or my shoulders or whatever. That's the practice. So press into the top of your left foot, the front of the ankle, so light that you could lift the knee off the floor. And then you can put the knee down if you want to, or keep the challenge of not putting the knee down and get a little more core work in there. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, prayer palms to the heart. Staying upright. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, start to twist to your right. So point your left elbow forward and your right elbow relatively back. Inhale up. Exhale, half Hanumanasana. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, the runner's lunge. Inhale, the right arm lifts. Exhale, downward dog. So that's our little flow, okay? Inhale, table. Keep the toes tucked under. Exhale, child. Inhale, cow. Keep the toes tucked under. Exhale through cat to child. Again. All the way back and stay back. So now you push from your fingers to your toes and you feel that opening up. Let the head dangle if it's safe, and if it's better for your neck to stay supported, use Jalandhara Bandha, right, the lift in the throat. So in the pelvic floor we lift Mula Bandha, in the navel we lift Uddiyana Bandha, and in the throat Jalandhara Bandha, and all three together, the great energy lock, Maha Bandha. Inhale, rise up. Exhale that bear plank into the downward dog. Inhale onto the tippy toes. Exhale the crouch. Left leg first. Inhale the split. Exhale, crouch. Right leg. Left leg. One time each, left and right. We'll go back to the left leg to move forward. Knee to heart plank, look forward, step that leg through. Arrange the base of Anjaneyasana, knee down, runner's lunge. And then come up into the full expression of Anjaneya with the arms up. Good. So you're here. Feel that lift, feel that strength coming out of the right knee, coming into the front of the ankle and the top of the foot. Light on the knee, strong in the left leg, and bring the prayer palms. As you lift the belly and heart, engaging the bandhas, descend the shoulder blades. The elbows will float up. Twist to the left, exhale. Come back to the center. Runner's lunge, exhale. Twist, left arm lifts, inhale. Top of the mat, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to the sky. Samastitihi, prayer the palms. One more Om. Om. And release the fingers. So from here, we're setting the feet up for a chair pose. For those who are comfortable through the sacral area, you can take the original posturing of big toes touching, heels about an inch apart, toes spread wide. If you take a look at the sides of your feet, the outsides of your feet, it should be parallel to the sides of your mat. And that shows you that your hips, knees, and toes are in alignment. If you would like to challenge yourself, and if your sacral area is a little bit tight, bring your feet hip distance apart. Without knocking your knees together, you sit in your chair. So you're very strong on the inner thighs here. And by doing that, you'll start to support what's pulling in the outer hips by strengthening your inner thighs. So eventually, the idea is you won't be so uncomfortable in that sacroiliac area. So find the chair pose that's right for you. And maybe today you're in that diagonal modification of chair pose that you're familiar with your belly engaged. I'll keep pulling my shirt because it's loose and I want you to see that I have a flat back and not a back bend in the lower lumbar spine. If there's any back bend at all, let it be in the thoracic spine, but let the lower lumbar be long. Or you're upright more, and you're sitting down more. So you're getting a little bit stronger. And if your shoulders don't love this, cactus. Goal post. Who doesn't love football? Actually, I don't love football. Anyway, inhale the chair. Exhale, stand up, samastitihi. Inhale the chair. Exhale, samastitihi. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, modification 1. That was it. Modification number 2. Inhale deep into your chair. Exhale, samastitihi. Inhale deep into your chair. Exhale, samastitihi. Again. Modification number 3. Fists of fire. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, and then come up. Back to samastitihi with prayer palms, and one more Om. Om. And release. So reestablish your mountain pose. We're going to go through a variation of Sun Salutation B as our standing practice today. And then we're going to get to the mat. So we're going to model this practice on yoga strength to serenity. From mountain pose, inhale, touch the sky. Exhale, touch the earth. Inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, round the left heel. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale the hands to the earth. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, hands to the earth. Inhale, warrior 1. Pause. So in your warrior 1, again, you can use those upright straight arms, or if the shoulders would like you to be a little bit more gentle, give them space in the cactus arms. Either way, push into the left pinky toe edge of the foot to send the left hip point forward. Push into the whole sole of the right foot to send the shin forward and the sit bone back. And get a little deeper into your warrior. And then while you're in that, in the legs, press into the earth, lift into the pelvic floor and navel core. Draw your ribs down, 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 and then just reach up through the fingers, even if it's relative from the cactus. And then exhale out of the pose. Inhale to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale up through your chair. And exhale, samastitihi. We begin again. Inhale, touch the sky. Exhale, touch the earth. Inhale, the right leg steps back. Exhale, ground the heel. Inhale, the warrior 1. Exhale, touch the earth. Of course, you can touch your thigh and keep your head up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale into your warrior. And then begin to align the pose. Right foot blade, left foot, shins separate, hip points align, sit bone down, heart up, earth to core, and then that direction, the downward pressure, the upward flow, and the heart open. One more in-breath, and release. Top of the mat. Halfway lift. Fold in. Chair pose. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice. Okay, from here, we're going to step back with your left leg into a high lunge. Bend the left knee so both knees are at a 90. Inhale the arms to the sky and exhale the prayer palms to the heart. Inhale, straighten all 4 limbs. Exhale, dip down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, dip down. Now stay down. Inhale the arms up, straighten the left leg into your high lunge. Exhale, cactus arms, twist to the right. Inhale to the center. Cactus arms or straighten the arms. Twist on the exhale. One more. Up. Now very lightly touch the left hand to the floor. Keep the right arm up in your twist. Maybe not even touching the floor at all, not leaning. Maybe even touching your heart. 2 more breaths. Your legs are so strong. We're going to cartwheel open to warrior 2. Very nice. So again, we're pressing into the outside edge of the left foot. We're separating the shins. The feet push straight down. The shins move away from the center. And we sit down in the middle of the pose, lifting up through the pelvic floor, belly and throat. Breathing from the heart to the fingertips, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the hips. Flip the right palm. Inhale, exalt it. Feel the space. Here's an opportunity to exhale and practice your side angle. Again, you can get a lot lighter on that right arm and you can engage the core by deciding not to lean on that right thigh. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale the warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel into runner's lunge. Inhale, step to the top of the mat in your halfway lift. Fold in. Chair pose. Samastitihi. So again, let's honor the differences that we feel in that. It's a little fire, and it's not just tight from working, it's also open. It's a nice balance between strength and flexibility. Let's step back with the right leg coming into that high lunge and bending the right knee and bringing the prayer palms to the heart. So let's establish the base. Maybe your heel to toe alignment and you need to widen that base for balance. Engage the bandhas. On an inhale, straighten all 4 limbs. On an exhale, to the core. Inhale, root to rise. Use the earth. Exhale, pull back into your heart. Still use the earth. And use the winds. Twice more. And then stay down in that front knee and expand the lunge by straightening the back leg and lifting arms. Cactus arms, twist to the left. Come up. Maybe the arms straighten, maybe they don't. One more. Come all the way up. So strong in the legs, so light in the right hand. We barely need to lean into it. Maybe you get that practice where you're not leaning into it anymore at all. So the legs are equally working. That back leg is just as strong as the front leg and your core is working, and then spiral open to the warrior 2. Find it. Next inhale, flip the left palm, exalt it. Feel the space you're creating for that side angle. So this is where we might lose the bend in that left knee. Press into that left foot, send the shin forward, press into the right foot, send the shin back, lift up into the bandhas, and use all of that to lightly come into your side angle. So some of you are familiar with keeping the arms beyond the head, or offering that front arm out if it's a little bit too much on the shoulders, or just letting the arm dangle but not leaning so hard on that left thigh, and then when the back says you need to lean, do it for that day. Okay, one more breath. And then come up, warrior 2. Let's come back. We're going to put that right shin down and move our left hand inside our left foot. Wiggle that left foot a little wider and point the left toes toward the top of the mat. Placing the palms underneath the shoulders, maybe dragging that right knee back further. Start to feel that stretch in the split between the 2 thighs. We're going to move into the stretch in the front of the right leg. This might be enough. Root into the left foot, root into the front of the right ankle, rather than just letting the knee catch the weight on the floor. And then you can already feel the legs moving in 2 directions and getting the stretch. So that's the preliminary. We're going to come into a wide-angled half Hanumanasana, half split, and maybe the hands can stay at the front of the mat. Maybe they cannot, and that's okay too. Draw the sit bones back and the heart forward. Ooh, there's a nice hamstring stretch there. And then placing the right hand at the top of the mat and bending into the left knee, I'm going to have you flex your right hamstring to bring your right foot up off the floor. And if that doesn't work for you, leave the right foot on the floor. Take the left hand to the inside of the left thigh and start to press that thigh open so the knee and the big toe stay in alignment. We keep integrity in the left ankle. If we just sickle the foot, we actually overstretch the ligaments in the ankle, and that's not really good in the long run, right? So you might be here, you might grab a strap, or you might be able to grab your right foot with your left hand. Now, a lot of us have a tendency to want to just kind of tuck in to try to grab that right foot, and it's actually harder because you're shortening the space, or you don't have enough room for that. Let's just put it that way. If you bring the left arm up and reach it back in a big rainbow, you actually have a greater potential to reach that foot. And it's okay if you're just going toward it. This could be your body's way of going toward a pose. And eventually over time, with or without a strap, you may catch the foot. Chances are if you give yourself enough time, like don't put a time limit on it at all, you'll catch the foot. Bhairavyasana. And then we'll come back. And we'll start to come back into that wide-ish half Hanuman. And then we'll walk the left foot right back in front of the left hip, and we'll come back to the top of the mat. Step the left foot back, put that shin on the floor, widen the right foot, hands inside. Point the right toes out. So maybe you drag the left knee back a little bit more. So we'll start right here. And then we'll come into that wide-angled half Hanuman. So the direction is hips back, heart forward. Even if you are on blocks or you have to walk your hands closer to you to reach the pose, it's okay. Feeling that stretch. And so we'll come back toward that variation on lizard and put that left palm at the left top corner of the mat. And we'll start to twist toward the right leg, and that might be enough. Maybe you're starting to flex that left hamstring to get that foot off the floor. Taking that right hand to the inner right thigh, keeping integrity in the ankle. So we want to make sure the knee and the big toe stay in alignment with each other. And then if it works for you, big rainbow right arm back to that left foot. You catch it, or you lasso it, or you just reach toward it. Energetically, if you are in your mind going toward a pose and your body is not there yet, your energy is going where your mind is sending it. So if I want to lengthen my spine, I think about my spine lengthening and I send my energy in two directions at once. Eventually my spine will feel that lengthening, and over time I'll feel myself getting deeper and more comfortable in a posture. Bhairavyasana. And then come back. And come back. And feel. So what was all that for? Well, we're going to come to the top of the mat in a frog variation, or a malasana, if you will. So keep the right foot on the outside of the right fingers this time. Use your core, use the earth, use those legs, and step that left foot up and come into what we might call it energy a baby squat. But this is also a variation on malasana. The frog pose, mandukasana, can come from being prepared in this pose. We can also call it like a frog squat. And those nice Pilates frog burpees that I did with Karen last night, that's a spoiler alert for next week. Get your balls out. So if you need a modification from this pose, don't follow me unless you need it. You can come into Baddha Konasana, and that will give you a break while still giving you the opening. If you're enjoying hanging out here, and don't laugh, some people do, be here. But if you need to balance your strength and flexibility, and this is available to you, I want you to come up halfway with your bottom and point your toes a little more forward. Come into elbows inside thighs, prayer palms toward heart, and squeeze your knees alongside your body. And then press your knees outside your body. Lift up your pelvic floor, squeeze your knees. Now lift up and sit down. Lift up and sit down. And let that start to come from your feet. Push into the earth with your heels. Let the tush rise because the heels are pushing down, not because you're flexing your quadriceps. Push, that's rooting to rise. Something will loosen and soften and shift out of the way and maybe let you get into your mala. And yes, we're all going to get to come into that modification of Baddha Konasana. Here, if you interlace your fingers underneath the pinky sides of your feet, if that's available to you, and let your hands be open like a basket, you can press the tops of your feet into your palms. And then press the backs of your knees into the floor. For a different modification, bring your hands behind you on the earth, behind you or on blocks, and press your knees into the floor as you lift up into your pelvic floor and heart. And then if it makes sense, press the big toe mounds together as you press the knees into the floor. Take 3 more breaths. And then soften out, release. So let's take the feet out in front of us a bit more and press the big toes together by pressing the hands into a prayer and then interlacing them over the toes. Again, if that's not available to you, hold on to your shins somewhere and just kind of lean into your inner thighs with your elbows, or lean onto your shins with your forearms, whatever is available to you. And start to leap out of your waistline with your heart. And if it's okay for your neck, drop your head. Otherwise, just let the head and neck be an extension of the spine. So potentially you could start to bring your third eye or your crown to your soles. So while you're hanging out there breathing, I admittedly have to get closer to the camera to do a bit of a time check because I didn't actually look. Okay, we're 40 minutes into a 1-hour practice. Come back up from your Tarasana and cross your right leg in front of your left leg. I can't recall if I have to mirror image or not, so if I'm not on the leg I'm calling, let it go. Wouldn't be anything new, would it? So what I'd like to do for the next couple of rounds is allow you space to meditate. I'm going to bring you into the posture, and I'm going to use my singing bowl to bring you out of the posture. That way I'm not disturbing you with an abruptness of hearing my voice, and we'll bring you out and then bring you to the next posture. So a very simple forward fold. Sukhasana, the easy pose. The shins are crossed at the ankles. The feet are supporting the thighs. You're leaning forward to whatever capacity you can. And over time in the pose, if you can go deeper, just go deeper. So you have permission to investigate what you're feeling. And when something is painful, back off a little until it's just tension. And then you can investigate going deeper. And as long as it's not painful, rest there. So not resting into pain, but find the edge. And if the edge moves, go toward it. Go deeper. Be in awareness of the sensations in your body rising and flowing away, and in your breath pace. Begin. Let your head go. Allow yourself to gently come up. Remember which leg you have in front. Lean the hands back, release the feet, windshield wiper the legs, massaging the hips. And then set up for the other side. You might notice that it feels different when you're first getting here. So if it feels different, then go into it differently. Go into it with a different awareness. Maybe this side needs something different. It might let you go fully in. It might ask you to pace yourself differently than the other side. Begin the posture. And climb back up out of the posture. Next pose, you have a couple of options. I'm going to guide us into the lizard pose, and if you have some blocks or props you would like to have nearby, you'll have the option to stay straight on your arms like we did when we visited the posture briefly a moment ago, or you'll go onto your elbows. Elbows could be on the blocks or the floor, or you might lay on a bolster. If we come through the tabletop posture and bring the right foot to the top of the mat and scooch the left leg back, you can decide to keep your right foot closer to the alignment of in front of the hip, or just have your torso just inside the body, and actually take a restorative lunge here. So I'm just in a regular runner's lunge, but I'm letting my ribs come inside the right thigh, and my left hand is on the floor. And I'm going to let my head hang over that right thigh. Or you can bring your step inside the right leg completely and hang out here, letting the head drop. Or you can come down toward the floor or blocks. So coming into that lizard pose. If you do come onto the outside edge of your right foot blade, please keep that ankle active, keep the integrity in the ankle, and have the knee and the big toe aligned the whole time. If it's okay for you to do so, you can put your head down on a block or let it hang, or you can make fists. So be here now, be here in the posture. And if this doesn't serve you, allow yourself the opportunity to come out of the pose. And take a Janu Shirshasana. So the posture has already begun. begin to come out of your posture, if you're in Janu Shirshasana variation, roll onto your back and hug your knees into your chest, please. If you're coming out of the lizard pose or the restorative lunge, you might stretch back briefly into either the wide half Hanuman or regular half Hanuman, and then come into child's pose. So let's all rest here for a moment, either in the knee hugging pose on your back or in child's pose. If you're in the knee hugging pose, stretch fully as if you're going towards Shavasana, and if you're in child's pose, come out into table and either lay on your tummy and stretch fully that way on your tummy, or go into a downward dog. And then everybody come back to go to the other side. So either come back to your seat for Janu Shirshasana, or come back to the lunge for the lizard pose. So if your left leg is forward and you're doing the restorative lunge, your left ribs come inside the thigh and your arm hooks over the thigh. Your head drops. Or you come inside the left leg and turn the toes out and maybe come down onto your elbows. Perhaps you come onto the outside of the left foot blade, keeping the ankle active, and maybe just drop into the lizard. Breathe here. The pose begins now. So start to come up, if you're in the lizard variation, toward your half Hanuman variation. And if you're in the Janu Shirshasana variation, roll back to hug yourself again, both knees in. So those of you who are in the hugging position, remain there. We're coming. For those who are in the half Hanuman variation, if you would like to come to a quick child's pose and then roll onto your back, or you can just roll onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. Let's come on to our backs if you're not already there. And in that hugging position, stretch really long like a starfish. And then leave yourself there. Let go of all the effort to stretch. Each time an inhale comes, let the inhale go all the way to the fingers and toes, and let the hands and feet spread and open. And when you exhale, release. Now we'll continue that with the hands and the feet, but now we'll also stretch through the limbs. Inhale from the shoulders and hips to the toes and fingers, keeping the shoulders and hips rooted, and release. And then adding on, let the spine stretch in both directions with the limbs. And release. Hug everything back in. Go ahead and pull your knees apart, circle them down and around and back together again. One more time. And then bring the knees up the center line, drop them away, then pull them apart and circle them up together. So now we're going in the opposite direction. And then in that hug, roll over to your left side. And then from that, we're going to open up the right arm in our spinal twist. Maybe looking in the direction of your right hand. So remain in that pose. Lose yourself in being aware of the breath and the sensations of the body, but don't lose yourself somewhere in the mind. Bring the mind in to scan the body. Bring the right arm back. Lay on your side for a moment. Notice what it feels like. Connecting with your core, roll through the center all the way over to lay on your right side. And then let the left arm open you into the twist on the new side. Let go and lose yourself within your body and the flow of your prana. Bring your left arm back and lay on your side for a moment, feeling. And so I'm going to invite you to come up to your seat and move your mat to a wall. I'm actually going to use this day bed, just so that I'm closer to you, not further away. And let's come up to the wall so that your feet, toes are touching the wall. Mine's right here. And then scooch your bottom as close as you can. And when you lay back, in theory, your feet come to the wall and your knees are at a 90-degree angle. So if we press the left foot strongly into the wall, flex the right foot, and then cross the right ankle over the left thigh, flexing the right foot protects the knee as we externally rotate the right hip. And physically or mentally, move your right knee toward the wall. So you could take your right hand onto your right thigh and push, or you can simply externally rotate that hip just with your own power, really. And that might be enough. Sometimes it's nice to take both hands and press the right inner thigh and the right inner ankle and just kind of push everything toward the wall. With the left foot, you can push into the wall and send energy back into your heart as you use your arms to push your right shin toward the wall, and then you'll feel this stretch activate in your body. It's like a facilitated stretch. And then you can soften it and maybe feel more space in your right hip. So for anybody who wants to add the through the whole hug, you can bring your left foot off the wall, and you can either grab your left hamstring, or if you have the mobility, your left shin, and hug here. If you like using the wall, please keep using the wall. So So if your left foot is off the wall, let it come to the wall. Let's everybody hug both knees into the chest. And then set up for the other side. Put both feet on the wall. And then flex your left foot and take your left foot away from the wall. Cross your left ankle over the right thigh. So at first, keep your right foot on the wall. Either with the power of your mind, moving your muscles, externally rotate the left hip, or take your left hand and put it on the flesh of your left thigh and push. And then if you like, both hands, one on the left thigh, one on the left ankle, push toward the wall, and then push the power of that right foot into the wall, the energy will come back towards your heart, and you'll feel that facilitated stretch. So as always, and this happens in my Monday morning class, we come together and sometimes people don't arrive until the class starts. And so I don't like to do the opening too early. And so I'll often talk a few moments when we're getting ready. And in the end, we come around and there's always like that one more posture I'd like to do. And we haven't done a meditation or Shavasana yet. So often we run over. And it's kind of a flow that we've gotten into. I think the only reason why I didn't change the class to 75 minutes is so that I don't run over that. So now we're all practicing from home and you have the opportunity to set aside 75 minutes or choose not to. So after this next posture, you can be finished or you can stay for a little extra meditation. So start to come out of your posture and allow yourself a hug. And since you're near the wall, even though your buttocks isn't right on the wall because we have that 90-degree angle in the legs, but you're near the wall enough, if you like, put your heels up on the wall, and it's okay that they're in a diagonal line, but you're at home, do what you want. If you want to scoot yourself closer to the wall so that your buttocks is right on the wall, then so be it. It's your practice. And come to this inversion, this variation of legs up the wall pose. If you're not using a wall, you can just put your legs up. And if you need a little support, you can put your hands underneath your glutes. So you're here, and you're feeling. You're feeling the energy of the world drain out of your body. The weight of the world is releasing from your shoulders. And maybe you decide, this is exactly where I'm going to stay for the next 15 minutes. I'm going to stay here for my meditation and my Shavasana. At any time, if that becomes uncomfortable, just use your breath as an anchor and come out of the pose and move onto your mat so you can just lie in Shavasana. If you're not doing that inversion at all, legs up the wall pose, consider either coming into your Shavasana, or if you want, you can prop your thighs. If there's no props available, my suggestion is to tent your legs so the feet are wider than the hips a little bit so you can knock the knees. That way the legs actually hold themselves up and you don't have to use your back and your core to hold up so you can release. And then anybody in any posture can decide to put their right hand on their heart and their left hand on their lower pelvis or their lower belly and just breathe into that space between the palms. And I'll guide you into a little meditation before we complete the practice. Become aware of your body. Become aware of your body, comfortable on the surface of the earth. Become aware of the earth. Make a connection with earth in the way that you connect with it. Are you a beach person? Do you love the sand? Are you a mountain person? The granite? Do you like the soft, warm dirt under your feet in a garden or in the woods? Maybe the pine needles on the path. Pick just the right temperature, what you like to feel under your feet. Feel yourself caressed by that earth. And drop into earth as your body. a little bit deeper into water. Whether you're on the beach and the ocean is there, or by a lake, or you're in the woods and there's a stream trickling, or the mountains and there's a waterfall nearby. Feel the atmosphere of water trickling on the skin. Hear the sound of the water moving. Feel the joyous, spontaneous flow of life. Feel the emotion of joy. Let each atom of your entire being begin to smile. A smile plays on your lips and your eyes and your heart. Your body smiles. You move towards something warm. You step into the warm sun, or you sit by a comfortable fire. You feel the fire within your soul, and you start to glow with the light within. As if you could see yourself in front of yourself, you see the glow coming from you. You know those times where you feel extremely happy and healthy and loved. You feel the glow coming from within you. Feel that glow within you now. Fire, water, earth, these elements making up your physical form and your current experience. Glean clarity from the fire. With clarity comes wisdom. Simply shift your awareness to your heart and your lungs. Feel breath enter your body and expand. And when the exhale arrives, direct your awareness to contract into your heart center as the breath leaves the body. Inhale, expand from within your center out into the universe. Exhale back to the heart. Breathing breath, feeling the air. Coming into your heart of pure love, pure consciousness. Whatever you thought was outside of yourself is not. It is you. Breathe into the pulse of this life. Breathe beyond the boundaries of your mind. Breathe into unconditional divine love. into your throat. We leave the confines of the body's space. We move beyond the limitations of the physical form, and we move into space. Be here, now. From space, you may naturally move into the third eye chakra, and you may move beyond space and time into the ether, and from there, have your own experience, your own journey as the witness into supreme consciousness. This is your final meditation. This is your Shavasana. Sukino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu. We shine like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shine. Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. Namaste. Feel free to take your time, make your way to your seat, or make your way to bed or wherever you're going from here. If you're starting your day, come to your seat, a big inhale, a huge Om, and feel yourself come up and off the mat and out into the world. If you're using this to slow down and take a nap or get some rest or go to bed, softly transition.